Hello everybody, and welcome to the interactive modding session. I'm Matt. If you don't know me, I work at Runic Games, and today we are just going to go through a crazy idea I had and see how the thought process and work of creating a new class actually goes. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So we are going to make a new class, and it's going to be the Potmancer. One night, late at night, I had a vision. It was grand. Actually, so it goes farther back. I had an idea for a class, or a spell for Torchlight 2 that you could pick up and learn. If anyone's seen the spell Rumble, which all it does is basically break pots for you conveniently if you didn't have a good AoE for that. What I wanted to do is essentially break pots and summon a golem based on the number of pots you broke. So it's just like this kind of one-off funny spell that was like, oh, I made a pot golem. It'd be sweet. But anyways, while I was going to bed, my mind wouldn't stop working, and essentially I wanted to have this class that's based on weird little things like, so in Zelda, whenever you leave a room and you come back, pots. Right, who put them there? I don't know. But so this guy, his power is based on pots. And so his main thing is probably going to be this giant pot golem. And then there will be a differentiation between regular pots in the world, which give you more benefits, but also you can create pots so that you can have this kind of, you don't run out of power, but you have to generate your own if you run out. Like an iron golem, except with pots. So, let's get into this. So I prototyped it a little bit. Not prototyped. Thought it out. And there'd be some passives like you spawn pots behind you as you walk. You generate a field of pots on an active ability, and that's probably what you're going to do most of the time. You summon your pot golem. You throw pots at people, probably. You know what? I already forget all the things I thought of. Probably should have written them down. But, Alright, so first things first, we need a new class. So let's open up the players editor. It's a pot golem green. There was a lot of, I didn't even realize that there would be so much pot reference. Given that I'm in Washington, how did it escape me? But, yeah, pothead. Oh, that was one of the skills, pothead. You'd wear a pot on your head and it would give you defensive bonuses. I know, classy. I like to keep it that way. So, as all good things do, they start from copying something else. So, let's go and copy one of the base players and make it a new class. While we're here, let me just say that even as someone who's worked quite a bit with editor, I still generate most of my files by cloning a different one and working on it, because you want to minimize the amount of variables that are going wrong. So if you have something that already works, that's generally a better place to start than making a new one and then having to fill in all the individual elements again, because if you just forget to set one of them, then all of a sudden you're stuck just hand waving and trying to figure things out. So I'm trying to read the chat at the same time so I don't miss any. Oh, a smoke CC, that sounds great. Alright, this is why it's interactive, because I'm gonna steal that one, something like that. Is that why you created the structure of base class gender? That's just a nice hierarchy for us to work off of. Like, there's a lot of inherited statistics across all the classes. Like, no one's gonna have more HP than the other. Well, in this case, so you just modify the base player, and all the other ones inherit that. So, anyways, let's copy out this guy. He's gonna be human. Potmancer base. Wonderful. Potmancer. Potmancer dances pots. Woo! We're done. Tutorial's over. Just kidding. Let's clone out a female, so we can have a Potmancer female. And we need to change this. But, hey, look, we don't have a Potmancer type. So that's actually going to be the next thing we do. Let me just clone out a male version. And unit types. So let's create a new one. It is going to be the Potmancer. And what do we want it to be? Well, let's just look at what the other one is. Realman's just inherits from player. We don't care about the other stuff because that's just inheritance. So player. Wonderful. Oops. Potmancer male. Once again, player male and Potmancer. Did I lose player male? There we go. Is that correct? Player female, inherits player. It's your male inherits. Okay, there we go. That worked. And then Potmancer female. Same thing. You could actually probably do this faster in text, but we will avoid the text. Oops, that should be player female. Delete. Get out of here. Great. Save it out. And this isn't going to auto load, so I'm just going to close it real fast. I do love me some Super Smash Bros. Melee Simnai, but Monster Hunter calls. Chances are I won't be sleeping anyways very soon. I mean, ending the tutorial anytime soon. So let's change these to their respective unit types that we want. And as all good things go, iteration. So let's make sure it works. So I just selected don't publish to Steam because I don't want to put it up right now. Mod created successfully. And let's Torchlight it. Oh wait, yes, no, that's right. Potmancer, go. The Potmancer, feared by evil everywhere. Not feared very much at all, actually. They just usually just hang out, chill, watch a movie. They have a really good time, though. And, oh, nope, it was here. There we go, Potmancer. Great. Since we didn't make any skill changes yet, we don't care. Things are working. Fantastic. Fantastic. So for the people who are just joining in, we're making the Potmancer. He's a new class. He summons pots, and he turns pots into giant pot golems, and whatever else we feel like having. We've had a suggestion so far that he has a smoke-based crowd control. I would assume that it makes everybody kind of just space out. Maybe they lose vision. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so now that we've got that, let us strip out the skills from the class. So that we don't have the Ember Mage stuff. Actually, how do I want to do this? So the idea here right now that I'm thinking about is just that, do I want to just replace some skills and then swap them later so that it's quicker to testing time, or no, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Get out of here. The reason I was saying that is just because now I have to, like, I'm gonna have to do something with the UI to add skills, but in testing, what I've been tending to do is just give yourself a level of skill so you don't have to worry about the skill tree yet. We'll come back to it, don't worry. So theoretically, we can have him summon random shaped pots, but once again, I dreamed up a crazy class and didn't actually see how much of it was feasible, so we'll actually try and figure out whether that'll work or not. For some reason, the default unit types show no inheritance. So tinfoil, you're going to have to update to the new patch, and when you unpack the files, or maybe it just will fix it. I forget how they... Basically, before there was some caps thing that was messing things up, and the patch today should have fixed that. I basically just hit delete a bunch of times right there. There are more skills in the base files than there are usable skills. What are the extras? In the base classes? If you want to be more specific and re-ask the question, I'll take a look. Yeah, I actually ran into the unit type problem earlier, so that's should be fixed. If not, let me know. But my thing updated correctly, and once I unpacked everything, was fine. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What did I want to do? Oh, let's add some skills. Right. So let's just do something. So in the base class, you know what? Let's just take a look at that real fast, because I don't know what you're talking about offhand, but I assume that there are just some skills that aren't immediately usable or something. Let's see. Like destabilize was a skill I was working on that never went in. I don't think we renamed it. I don't think we reused it for anything else, so that's probably not. Rejuvenating Kill. That sounds like one of his spells that you can... no, that sounds like a spell he actually has. Engineer has like 40 skills. Slowcopter, Hammerbot, Tremor. Tremor was another skill I was working on. Oh, no, he has Tremor still, actually. Mortarbot. I don't think we put in Mortarbot. Sticky Bomb passive. I think that's in, actually. Charge Healing. Yeah, we put that in. Vision Core was another skill I was testing. Basically, it was a channeled AoE that pulled guys towards you, and it would charge up the longer you pulsed it, and then do an explosion at the end. Something like that. Thunderhammer was a buff that we took out. It's just you did more damage, lightning damage. Yeah, I think it's just old skills that didn't actually get used. Huh. I'm surprised they're still in there actually. Doesn't matter, you can't put any skill points into them. Yep, so let's go back to this. So the first thing I would like to do is make a skill that summons a monster and have the strength of that monster proportional to the amount of pots you killed in order to raise it. So so what I'm thinking about is what is a good skill to start with to clone and copy the sauce with. So something with basically any of the summons that have basically any summon, but I also want it to do an AoE, so actually I think I'm gonna just grab Rumble, since that has an AoE that kills pots, and use that. So oops, that's not the right button. There we go. Name contains Rumble. Great. So come back. There we go. So let's clone this out. This is gonna be Potmancer. What's a pot golem, guys? Someone be creative. Clay golem. I like it. Skill type charm, don't care about that. Display name Clay Golem. Description is gonna be summon create a skill icon, we don't care about that for now. Target alignment good, self-cast. Do you want it to be targeted? Let's do that for now. Let's just say whatever you're nearby. We can change that. Range, speed, blah 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 blah. Great. If this were a different skill, I'd just delete everything after level 1 and then copy them out later. Jarhead. We could name it Jarhead. And okay, so we've got some Rumble layout and an affix for spell Rumble. What does Rumble actually do in the affix? Let's check it out. Rumble in the Bronx. Wait, what was the affix name? Spell Rumble, that's why. Spell Rumble. Rumble damage is a 0 damage spell. I guess that's the damage it uses to break the urn. That makes sense. So what we're gonna do is we want to clone this out so we can edit it. So the easiest way to grab it, so this event, we're going to open the layout. This is the Rumble spell. It looks to be an expanding layout. So, oh, that's why. Properties. Let's maximize this. Right, so we have, yeah, so we have a growing radius. So this is basically, just imagine it's a full green circle that effectively, that's just so that it was cool, so you have a wave of breaking pots. So let's save this out as a new skill. Shortcut mods makes it easier, or that's my suggestion at least. And I'm gonna call it hit check because this thing is just gonna tell us how many units got hit. I guess it's also gonna destroy the pots. That's fine. Call it hit check. And that's really all we need to do. Don't forget to go back to your skill and change the layout. Hit check, save, and you might want to test it here just to make sure it's the right one, but I'm not going to bother. So let's see. All right, so since I want to count the number of things that are getting hit, what we're going to do is make a new stat, and that stat is going to be, I'm going to call it like the pot stat or whatever. And so that way, what we're going to do is we're going to add an event. And this is going to be a unit hit event. So every time a unit is hit, this will get triggered. And what this is going to do is it's simply going to add an affix that says put +1 pot counters. We'll call it a pot counter. Pot counter. So let's do that. Let's make a stat. The wonderful world of dynamic stats. Pot counter. ID is filled in for us. Display name, not really important. Does it save? We don't care. We're not going to save it, basically. Do we want to save it? That's a design decision. I would say no. Min value, max value. That's interesting. Now that I think about it, I kind of want there to be a changeable min and max. I don't think you can actually. No, you can't set that up, actually, now that I think about it. Huh. Anyways, it doesn't matter. What you could do is use a different, well, let's not get into that right now. So, refreshes, sure, let's say it refreshes. That way, if you kill more pots, you reset the time counter. Min value is default 0, but let's be explicit. 0, 0. It's going to be an integer, because we don't want floating amounts of pots. Actually, do we? Do we want a half pot? No. Let's say no. Max value, you know what, we don't even care. There is no max value. Probably like some ridiculous max value. Yeah, I'm like doing a lot of hand waving and stuff, but you can't see it. Well, I guess I can put myself on the screen. Yeah, you can imagine it. But the increment value is going to be how do we want this to work actually? So you could decrement the pot value over time. I think that's a better way to do it just because it seems more thematically correct. As you spend time not potting up, you lose the effect gradually. Great, great. The duration is, let's lose a value of pot every second, whatever. We can change this later. Let's do 2 seconds. Great. Curses, I never hit the plus button. Alright. Doing that. Pot counter, that's why we didn't have an ID. Pot counter int, refreshes, value 0, default 0, 0, min value, whatever, we don't care, -1. Duration is going to be 2. Great, save, done. Certain locations don't have pots. So basically, when I say pots, we're going to use breakables in general. Is that a +1? -1. -1. Is most of the stuff in gut space on seconds? Yes, I'm trying to think of an exception. Yes. I'm doing this like face that says I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna say yes. So, you know what? I'm just gonna put on my face just so that you can get the. You need some context, guys. You need context for what is going on. I'm gonna give that to you. Don't worry about it. Now you know. Now you know. Skill duration seems to be in milliseconds. Yes, you are right. Skill duration is in milliseconds. So we've got our stat. And what we want to do is get out of here for now. I don't like keeping them open when I'm modifying multiple things because then I have to close them anyways to refresh the list quite a lot of the time. So what we're going to do, we're going to add a skill affix for pot counter. Add pot counter. I'm going to make a new effect, and it is going to add a stat. Add to stat. Add stat. Effect name is pot counter. This is where you put the name of the stat that you want to modify if you're doing an add stat. So pot modifies its name. It's going to be 100% chance to add 1 instantly. Level we don't care because it can't be, there's no scale, there's no graph for this. Damage type, care, source type, we don't care, blah blah blah. Save, no, nothing here is important. That's it. Save it about. And come back to the skill editor. And we are going to add this to the affix. Add pot counter. Great. Target type is self. Done. I believe we can just test it out because we have wonderful tools like player effect and stat watcher. Let's put you in some corner. Let's set us to be a Potmancer. And let's go. My face cameo is off by a margin. I haven't looked at this in a while. Oh no! I must rectify this. No, no, I didn't mean to draw. Kill it. There we go. Why won't it let me modify it? No, no, no. Oh, that's probably why actually that would be better. Just a little wait for it. There. There. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. Oh, crap. I forgot to give him the skill. Stop. So, let us give him that skill. Clay Golem. Great. Level 1. Sure, let's give it a required chance. And good to go. Let me read the chat real quick. You are handsome. Oh, I thank you. I'm sure you're a handsome fellow yourself. How do I don't even know offhand how to... Can I change it here? Alright, great. I remember at one point I couldn't do that. So we still have Magma Spear here for some reason. Did I not? Where's the... No. Nope. Something's up. Something's up, guys. Reload. Reload it all. Ah, death. Nothing's wrong. One second. Yeah, it's still set to use Arbiter skill tree override, but I wasn't going to use that to access the skills. It was just that it still had a point in Magma Spear somehow when he doesn't have that skill. So let's come back here. What are we on? Potmancer, great. Strange. Oh, wait, no. I forget. I think I actually have to build this, don't I? I have not used the Steam version very much. Urgh. Build it. And this is not correct. What is going on? Oh man, this is so slow. There's usually a thing that says... Where's my... I don't remember what key I set to... Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. Whatever. Alright, so... Why is this guy's stuff not loading correctly? Let us find out. Let us begin the process of debug. An enjoyable process indeed. So player's base, even Potmancer base. Potmancer, I chose the male. He is linked to Potmancer male. He's Potmancer. Clay Golem is a skill. He doesn't have Magma Spear. How is he getting Magma Spear? I guess I can't even really tell right now if it's loading the right class, now that I think about it. Let me make some changes. Get out of here, charge bar. No one likes you. Oh, did I select the Ember Mage just there? No, because I don't have to assign it to Potmancer male because it inherits Potmancer. It's, how does it know? Oh, up here. Oh, that's why. Thank you. You pointed me in the right direction. So the reason he was not getting it is because I forgot to change the inheritance. Bam! You guys are the pros, not me. I'm a facilitator. And the skill UI, I haven't made a Potmancer skill UI layout, so right now this is gonna be junk anyways. By this, did I wave my hand where you could see it? This is junk anyways, so don't worry about it. But anyways, we got our rumble skill down here, and it makes a rumble. So let's check out with our effects watcher what happens. Curses. There. So right there, pot counter is 3, and it reduces. So I am hitting 3 units because I haven't specified to my damage shape what units I'm limited to. I assume. What are the 3 units? There's me. There's my dog. Let's make a bunch of punch bags and see how that changes it. What is it hitting? That's interesting. I'll have to look at the damage shape. But anyways, in essence, we are able to increment the counter now, which is the first step. The first of many steps. Too big, too big. There. How did you drop all those punch bags in there? If you drop down the console and you just typed in punch bag, you'll spawn a punch bag essentially. Is it hitting the empty object at the center of the room? There was no object there. That was just what is that? That's just a thing to show you orientation. Don't worry about that. What we do want to look at is the skill. So we want to do open layout and check the properties of this damage shape. So right now it's set to hit unit type any, actually, so that's what is going on. I'm not sure what the third unit is, but what we're going to do here is make it breakables. So save that. Let's load up this effects watcher. And pot count is still 3. What does it think it's doing? Let's find out. Thinking about what could possibly be happening. Is my unit hit somehow triggering itself or something like that? Is what I want to know. Actually, let's do this a better way and just say what? Get out of here, unit hit. And let's just say anything that we hit in here adds a pod counter. So this way, by taking out that extra unit hit event, or event hit, unit hit event, I'm eliminating any weird, like it's hitting itself and re-triggering its own action. There's actually a flag for something like that, but this way is a cleaner way to do it anyways. So let's do it this way. So anytime we hit anything with that damage shape, we're going to do add a pod counter. Three. What is the third? I don't understand. Nope, damage shapes is already active. Oh, it's not damage shapes. There we go. Earn. So basically I want to see if this still basically works. No. So breaking those didn't add anything. And why is that? Did I change my layout correctly? Am I using the right one? Ah! Get out of here. Where's my skill editor? Yeah, hiding back there. So something is not happening correctly. Let's get rid of this cooldown first. On event trigger, we do the hit check, and anything we everything we hit adds a pod counter to itself. That looks correct. So now, are we doing something strange in the timeline? Here's the event enable. This is disable. It's 1 second. Doesn't loop. This damage shape alignment is all. Shape angle to unit type update. Huh. Does not loop. Resets on loop. Sure, let's restart. I'm unsure of the I'm unsure of the correct. I haven't used it at home before, basically. So there might be some extra steps that you have to take that I'm not aware of. Is this run build reflecting all of the changes? I don't know, actually. Oh, it's reduced to 1 per cast. So something did get correctly updated. Okay, so these don't count as getting hit now. So the skill was not correctly updated before the restart. So now we need these to hit. And so you need to do damage in order to break them. That's why the old Rumble had the points in it. But that means that it might not trigger a unit hit the way I want it to. I'll assume that the 1 is some kind of strange I hit I cast a skill. Oh, let me see if there's probably a skill setting that's saying count myself or something. What's that thing called? Always apply effects? No? Don't target smashables. False. That's correct. No alignment, smash alignment. Blah 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 blah. So let's do. Spell rumble. Let's add this back in so we break the pots correctly. And now we have to see if it breaks, if it counts as a hit. Save. Copy. Let's clone this out. Delete this one. Delete this one. Make this a unit hit. And get rid of that layout. Skills is not something to reload. It's part of that. Did I make when I created the effect, did I make it so it always increases the counter by 1 even if it hits nothing? Not on purpose. Perhaps I did. I'll have to double check that. Breakable 1. Oh. So actually let me do. Let's actually just test if this needs to be restarted at that point. Yes, so so the skills aren't auto reloading for that part. That actually has to be restarted for some reason. Where's the reload now? Just stop. Spawn missiles cinematics after. Yeah, there's no skill reload here, so. Oh, I wanted to see if that counts as a unit hit. Probably not. Oh man, what am I gonna do if it doesn't work? Oh, and the pot counter isn't going up at all. Which is good and bad. Alright. Let's see. Is a restart always necessary? I don't know yet in what case it is or it isn't, but it looks like skills need a restart. Now. So can we do something else? I can say, let's try this. So pot hit. So let's say we have a 0 cooldown that says the game event type is character, my character, hits and I want to hit breakables. If we hit one, then let's add a pod counter. So this is me trying to work around the problem. So I have a triggerable. What triggerables do is they fire off when a certain game event happens. So in this case, the game event is the hit event. Now if I had the code, I could double check. But I'm trying to remember if this is done during like a damage, or if it's the same thing as the way the skill works. Anyways, let's test this out. Do add triggerable. Not hit. Chance 100. Just gonna add it. It's fine. And let me double check the triggerable name. Close the editor. It's just called potting. Alright. So let's reload player data. Hit play. Give me no, breakable. Breakable. Nothing. So, to rule out the fact that I just completely did that wrong, let's take out this watch type and just say anything I hit should give me a pot counter. That was a bad example. So that doesn't give me one. Let's do a reload. I'm not sure you would, well, you wouldn't want them all summoning pots at the same time, but on the other hand, they're all going to be destroying pots really fast, so it pseudo self-balances, right? So I'm not getting a pot thing at all here. Which means that I probably need to restart. Read or write protected memory. I'm going to have to look at that later. Hopefully this is somewhat useful to you guys. But this is actually how development tends to work. To a certain extent. So if character creates a hit, includes myself, then I target myself and add a pod counter. This should be fine. This looks fine. No effects. What are the variables that could have gone wrong? Let's see. Let's make sure I put on the effect correctly. So Berserker Berserk add trigger wall 100 instant 0. Potmancer. What? Oh, I put it on the wrong one. That's why. You gotta check your stuff, guys. Check your spelling. Check your effects. All right, so that's why that wasn't working. Great. Let's reload the player. And still nothing. Let's do a reload and a restart. Good night, man. I will make sure I save the video. Great. So now every time I hit, I get a counter. So that works correctly. Oops. Yes. No. What I want to do is if I have a breakable and I hit it, does that give me a counter? It does not. How would I do this then? So let me think. Maybe there's a different triggerable I can use. Block, crit. Charged, got block, crit, hit. I don't think discharged weapon hit. So trigger well's not gonna work. Unit hit events don't get triggered off pots, but I can hit them with damage effects. Because they will break them. They just don't count for anything. Let me test that, actually. My question is, do they count as a unit that I hit? So let's make sure that's changes put in. Oops. No, and they do not count at all towards any kind of hit. That is unfortunate. That was the basis of the Potmancer. Huh. I can't think offhand of any other way to get around this limitation. So I might have to go in a completely new direction. No, it's the reason they're not counted is because they're not monsters. They're just, they don't have health or anything. Essentially what we do is we say, is there damage trying to be applied to this? And it's like, oh, is it a breakable? Then just break it. So it's like, you wouldn't want your ability to, if say you had an ability that could only hit 4 things, you wouldn't want it to count the pot. In 99% of the cases, where the other 1% happens to be the Potmancer. So they don't die either. Pulling the breakable smashed. Is that a stat? That's an interesting thought. I like it. I like thinking outside the box. I'm not sure that's gonna work, but I think that's a great idea. Pulling is a tough thing to do, though. Unfortunately, there's no I can't do subtraction. Essentially, I guess what I mean is I can't set a stat to the other stat, so I can use it in the future. Is that right? Anyways, let me just see if I can actually use it first of all. Torchlight. No. Break. Barrel's broken. There it is. So I can check how many barrels are broken. And check if it's equal to what? A stat on the character. So I need to... There's no way to act on the static variable, unfortunately. Like I can't... What I want to do is I want to copy it into a stat of my own, not have it change, so that the next time I call barrels broken, I can see if it's greater. But even if I could see that it was greater, I couldn't check by how much. So that wouldn't work anyways. I could save a stat that increments every single time you break a pot, and decrement that stat every time you spend it, so your net pot level actually might... Wait. How would I increment it every time you broke a pot? Basically, I'd have to be checking if this value is greater than my value every time I walk a step, basically. And then it might have a problem catching multiple pots being broken in AoE. Because I could only increment pot breaking one at a time. The problem is incrementing when pots break. How do I know that I broke a pot? That's the big problem. Or how do I know when to check to see if a pot has been broken? And if I check on a timer, then I'm not going to be able to add one. I'm not going to be able to add, let's say I broke 10 pots in a second because I have an AoE. Then all I can say is, oh, pots were broken because it's greater than my stat, which could be a useful stat, but when do I check for that? Do I check for it every time I take a step? Do I check for it? I don't think I have something that I mean, that would be expensive. That sounds like a terrible idea. But I could have a pulsing, I could just have a passive on the character that basically is a timer that pulses and says, hey, this timer has looped, check if the pot stat has changed. Oh, oops. I can have a thing that increments a looping skill that basically says if my stat counter doesn't match the barrel's broken stat, then increment. And then I'll have another stat that says what does the other stat say? No, this is tough because then I'll always be refilling that stat before I even want it to. Can you make breakables count as hits to kills only to Potmancer skills? That's the problem. There's no way to do that. Can you have check the skill how that's what I'm trying to do now. There are a lot of problems. Can you make it so breakables cast a skill on death that changes the stat on nearby players? You, my friend, know how to think outside the box. I like it. Can I do that? I think that sounds doable. That sounds doable. Neo Falcon 2. You sound like a genius. These all inherit from props base. What is props base? What is props base? Can I edit it? What I want to do is just edit props base. Oh, but will that means it'll give it to all the other, like this would also count, which is unfortunate. But it might work because those don't die in the same way as a breakable. I think. Neo Falcon 2, you are a genius. It would cast every time you break a pot, which is a limitation that we'll have to design around. But that's okay. That's okay. Tinfoil. So once again, the problem is if I try to there's no way for me to increment a pot counter whenever the stat increments, because I don't have a way to say, oh look, has the pot counter incremented. I can pull it like on a skill or on a pulse of a skill, but I can't have it tell me directly. So that's why it would be weird. So the most I can do with that approach is fill a stat up to the current breakable level. But then the problem is that I'd have to think about that one, because then basically what I'd have to say is, if I'm adding a stat point to fill up to this stat, then add another stat points to correspond to the actual amount of pots I've broken since I've used my last one. But that doesn't work because I'll always be... No, I won't always be trying to catch up. That might work. Yeah, I think going to that, I probably would use the charge meter as the visual display, so that would be the easiest way to do this. I'm just trying to think about... Alright, so let me break it down. You have a pot stat that's 0. And on a pulse, say every quarter second, if this stat is less than the total pots broken, add 1 to your pot total stat, and when you do that, add 1 to your charge pot stat. So your charge pot stat gets used up or gets removed, or gets decremented naturally as it decays. But your other total pot stat, if it is ever less than the total pot stat, will correctly increment and give you a new pot stat, a new charge pot stat, because you haven't gotten one yet for that point. That sounds reasonable. You'd have to make it save, because otherwise you'll be adding pot points all day. There'll be a delay. Let's say I blow up 30 pots in 1 second, in in 1 instant. Then it'll be 30 times like a quarter second before you get the full pot charges. The question is, will there be a performance hit if I increase the pulse rate of that? It shouldn't be too bad, because not even a damage shape involved. It's just pure logic. So that sounds a little bit better than in this case. In this case, what I'd have to do is add the skill to all the different pots. The bonus, though, to this one is that different pots can give you different amounts of the stat. So there's actually some cool things about doing it either way. Yes, what you said, Tinfoil. So essentially the big thing there is just you have to be on a timer to increment the stat. Yeah, the pot counters were supposed to be some a more generic thing. I just wanted to build that one skill out first. That would be a. I envision the Golem one as a separate one, because he's a summonable, so you can kill you just summon a Golem on the spot based on the amount of pots, rather than holding this pot charge around, which is a little different than what I'd started, but the pot charge is a good idea separate from that. So what I'm thinking about now is that, so let's say I have a 10 pot charge meter. I would like to be able to I wanted a mechanism where regular pots were stronger than summonable pots. But how would that would be tough to do. That's fine. What I can do is limit the amount of possible pots you could possibly summon, so that it's highly likely for you to fill up your pot meter. Yes. So what I would want to do in this design of the Potmancer is just have your pot meter empty out very, very rapidly. So you break 10 pots, you cast your skill, and you have like 2 seconds grace period. Then it goes away. So that way, if you want that 20 pot golem, you gotta find 10 pots, generate your 10 pots, kill them all, and summon that golem. I think it might be better to build it into the skills to build the charge meter rather than have the charge meter operate off of like I kill a pot and I get a pot meter, but rather I cast a but that doesn't work with the way we do. So what I could do, actually, this sounds cooler, is actually not, but then I gotta do some kind of loop really fast. That's tough, actually. I was gonna say, count the amount of pots since you've last cast a spell that you've killed. Now, the original intent was to have a stronger golem for each pot you broke. So let me go with that other way of adding pots that Neo Falcon 2 was proposing. Because then we can just add stats to you every time a pot is killed. And that just is like a natural charge, right? It says, you've got 25 pots since you last cast a spell. Cast a golem, and it's a 25 pot golem. I like this. I think in this case, I'm trying to read through the chat also. Would it be possible to delay the summon effect and have compared to the charges? The summon to the charges when cast. You could only get a greater. You could only say yes, it's larger, or no, it's not larger. Which is the problem with that. You could do some weird. Like this whole pulsing thing to increment, you could do on anything. It's just a weird way of. It's potentially cool. It's like if your pot golem survives for those 10 seconds, every pulse of each second says, "Oh, there are more pots. I'm growing stronger," and you could do something cool. You could work that into a design, I think. But I like the idea of putting it on these breakables instead. What I would probably do is change all of these breakables to inherit from one. Whoa! Turn back on screens. Change all these breakables to inherit off one base breakable, so I can just add the skill once. So thief, that's actually the way the skill would have to work, because otherwise you'd well, that's not the way it has to work. That's the way it would have originally worked in the case of the break the pot, summon the golem regular thing. That's the way most of the engineer skills do work. Alright, so let's actually do this. Let's work the skill into this barrel. Because nothing's better than trying it out. Skills. And this is going to be a really simple skill, so maybe I'll actually just create a new one, despite what I said about copying skills that you know work. And it's going to be called pot break. Pot break. Let's just quickly shared pot break. So this is going to be simple. All it's going to do is, let's call it something. Where's name? Name, pot break, add level, add event. Actually, maybe it would have been smart to copy this skeleton trap or TNT bomb trap. It does event start. Okay, so these are triggered right as things die. Pot break, pot break, pot break. Pot break. Did I not give it a name? Let's give it a file. No. What was the order before? Skills. Oh, that's trapped. I had traps I should have put in there. No, it's not a trap. Where did I put this guy? Skills shared. Pot break. Pot. What? Where did my skill go, guys? Well, we'll find it eventually, I guess. Let's just make a new one. Pot break in shared. Unheld last session, probably because I just, oops, no, don't delete that. Probably because I just tried to copy it onto a skill that existed. No. Skills. Neo Falcon, you could do that. What I would probably do is add another stat when they break and say, like, if it's a poison barrel, I'd add stat poison. And then when I do cast my skill, I can actually check for those different flags and decide based on which pots have exploded, like maybe the most recent or whatever, and just say, use that as a flag. So you could do that. Okay, so here's pot break. Name is pot break. Description, pot break. Chance 100%. Is trap. I don't actually know what that bull does. Shh, don't tell anyone. No damage. Damage shape hits once, no. Ignore alignment type, sure. Target everybody. Everybody's gonna get pots. And we don't want effects, we want an affix. Peace effects, peace. This is gonna be pot counter. Add pot counter. Where are you? So level target type is everybody. Everybody. Save. Oop. Cancel. Save it. We are gonna use. Let's see. Oops. I didn't need to close that. We need to change this layout. So save as. Actually, let's just open up the hit check one and save that one. Use that one. So let's save this as skills Potmancer. Let's just. I'm just gonna put it in here. Whatever. Pot break. Then I'm just gonna make this instant. Fixed. Let's be generous, guys. Let's be generous. If you're within 20 meters of the pot, you're good to go. All right. Timeline is fine. That's fine. We don't want the rumble effect. Kill that. Kill that. Save this. Now we need to link the skill to that. All right. It's probably not in here. Nope. Yes. Oops. Props. Barrel. Skills. Pop break. Great. Level 1. Save that out. No, no. Potmancer pet should be a sentient pot. Still -1 on the barrel. You're right, but I'm not sure that actually matters. You may. Doesn't hurt to be sure. Ugh. I work too fast. Too fast. Minnesota. Probably shouldn't drink this soda. These are not guaranteed to go off. Get out of here, skeleton. No one likes you. So it's going off there. So probably something in the skill setting. Chance is 100 here, so that shouldn't be the problem. Oh. This damage shape needs to be hitting everybody. Anybody? Everybody? Any? There we go. Save. Max units to hit. Hit everybody. We don't care. Pot for everybody. Huh. I sound like I have an agenda now. There must be some kind of inherent trap property that I'm not aware of. Units, props. So barrel has a skill. It's also got a chance, which I didn't think would take effect here, but I don't know. Save. There's only the layout, the skill, only the layout, the skill, and the affix. We're gonna hit everybody. There's something about being a trap. No, but it's getting triggered. That's fine. Screw that. Get out of here. Yes, this is not your standard run-of-the-mill class. Let's just say that. Alright, so apparently that chance does affect it. Did that one do it? I didn't see. Oops. Where's the clonable property? Oh, no, it can be cloned. Alright, so that same is right. It does do pot break. Why is it not doing something? Alright, let's do a test. So we can do some weapon damage. Alright, because that's how the TNT one works. Maybe the effect is applied differently for whatever reason. That would be strange. Should I get a new good after clearing the skeleton trap? It should have. Need to stream more, huh? We'll get around to it. Working on it. Working on it. So I'm not taking damage anymore either from these traps. Maybe it does have to be a trap because of the way it applies things. Skill. And this is why you clone things. I just ignored my own advice. Or rather, I deleted the part that made it a clone. Alright, we're trapping you with pots. Let's go. Barrel. Break it. Restart it. Do you have anyone using yellow? I don't know anyone who uses them. I've heard, I've talked to one or two people who've used them and said they're kind of nice, but no, overall I don't have anyone. No one said anything about them enough to say, oh yeah, they're like a definite buy. But everybody who's said they had them said, oh yeah, they're kind of useful. So just try them out. Your mileage may vary. Dry eyes. I didn't take damage either. Why not? Curious, very curious. So this barrel casts TNT break and does damage with an effect. Wait, no. What does it do to? Oh, there's a knockback effect. Wait, did that skeleton just jump out? Isn't that also a skill that I just disabled? Yeah, skeleton trap. What is going on here? Oh, cast odds. I forgot about it. Maybe that's what it's using. Don't stop on death. Don't stop on death. Target everybody. So maybe this weapon damage isn't even getting applied and it's just this effect. That sounds reasonable to me. What is 100% weapon damage for a barrel anyways? Oops. I heard that the software that does it essentially does the same thing, so. Oh, it incremented with the skeleton spawn? I didn't even notice. Well, the thing doesn't watch the skeleton. When the skeleton spawns... Did I not load it? There we go. Alright, I'm gonna watch for that this time. I didn't notice last time. What kind of wall? It's that's a StarCraft wallpaper. Egg, Zergling with speed. Morph into a Baneling with speed. Baneling explodes. The circle of life. Barrels. So apparently the skeleton trap is triggering it. There's a skeleton. No, don't kill him. Ah! Stupid dog. So it might be trying to hit. So there's the pot counter. Wait. What did it go up with? When I hit... Did I just write the effect wrong? Wait a second. That doesn't... Basically, it's acting as if I have an attribute on me that says add stat to myself when I hit things. Oh, do I still have the triggerable on me? I probably do. What is it? The triggerable just says when I hit things, add the pot stat. That's why. Yeah. Yep, that was it. Well, let's get rid of that guy. Alright, so now we won't get confused by that. Now we can just get confused by this. Oh, I copied that wrong. That's why that didn't work. That's why I use the targeting from the TNT trap, so that it would be able to target allied instead of hostiles. Yeah, I changed it from breakable to any. What was I gonna do? Just try that. That hit me. What's the difference? It's got to be something about the damage shape. So let's try it. Pot break, use layout. It's alright. TNT bomb. Yes. There you go. I'm just not consistently doing it. Huh. Why is it not casting that? What are these barrels doing? Cast a skill. That's a irregular amount of not procced. Does shift clicking to destroy a target selection change a thing? Sometimes. Changes the way the skill works slightly. It's mostly targeting related. What is going on? Oh, change the layout. So the layout's going to look exactly the same either way. Wait, yes. So let's do it. Oh, but it's already adding that pot counter. That seems to just happen when I try to close it with multiple windows open. Now you can spawn something besides the bomb. I'm just trying to narrow down the things that could be going wrong. Essentially, if you change all the layouts and all the graphics and stuff and it doesn't work, then you don't know which thing you changed was the problem, which is basically what's going on here. I don't know. I wasn't able to narrow it down. Oops, what did I just hit? No, I don't care about that. There. Was it really just because it wasn't an affix? Did I just miss it last time? Huh. Yeah. There's gotta be some kind of targeting issue with the different way the effect does everybody versus the way the affix does everybody. I don't know what that difference is. I'm sure I could figure it out, but you know what? Doesn't really matter. Alright, let's call this a win right here. The other thing that we're going to do is, since we're going to have it be basically pot since you last cast, we're going to take out the timer. We don't need a timer. Timers are for noobs. working. Yay, pot counter. All right, so that works. So we're going to save this out as Torchlight 2 mods, Potmancer, media, skills, Potmancer, pot break. We're going to take out, what is explosion? Layout link particle, we don't care. Layout link particle, we don't care. Timeline, great. Damage shape, giant. Let's make it 20. And, oh, timeline, we want it to happen at the beginning. And let's just make this a short timeline. Duration is 1. Done. Done, 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 done. Great, so now we got a pot counter. We do need to make it happen all the time. For whatever reason, these traps are tricky. Oops, this is player. I'm gonna go to base. Props. Essentially, they're working like monsters where they have to pick their skills, but we don't want them to pick their skills. So for now, we can consider this later where we want to put it back in, but I don't care. Too bad. No traps. No traps. Barrel. Test. That's just not updated, but they're all doing it, so that's fine. Oh my goodness, pots. All right, now I got a pot, so let's go back to this clay golem guy. And what we're gonna do, what are we gonna do, guys? What should I do as you make a clay golem with more pots? Obviously, he will be stronger. Yes, we will count charges with pots, but what shall we do with those counted charges, the 425? Make him summon with strength, determined by charge count. Good. Make him bigger. I can do that. Does he scale his range up when I scale up his size? That'd be something to check. Make Golem shoot lasers. After 10 pots he starts going wizards. More pots is more gold drop. Alright. Alright. Well, let's start with the basics, alright? So what we're going to do is get out of here, Rumble. Oh, what I wanted him to do also is he will cast Rumble, and as he breaks pots, he will also grow stronger. That's his other ability. And that should be pretty simple. So what we're going to do is kill this. We don't need that. Essentially what we're going to do is just make a layout that summons a pet. So just like any other good old layout, let's just open a layout. Let's go even further. Let's kill this. We don't need this. Let's base it on something else actually. Let's get rid of this. No, let's keep that. What are the other summon spells? Let's get... What's the robot called? Robot? What was the fist bot called? Punch bot? Hammer bot. Sledge bot. There we go. Alright. So, let's just copy this guy for level 1. So, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Let's turn off the cooldown for now. No requirement graph. Target position, blah blah blah. Sounds good. Warm up. Hammerbot spawn. That's just all graphical. So Hammerbot spawn, and we're gonna attach engineer Hammerbot summon duration. This is what we want to change. This is just a display thing. Don't care about that for now. Let's change this to Potmancer. Play Golem buff. So we can encapsulate the different effects into there. So let's make one. Affixes. Clay Golem. Clay Golem. Oh, we're gonna make a new one. Sorry. Skill. Potmancer. Play Golem buff. Excuse me. Where's the Hammerbot one? No, doesn't matter. We'll work from scratch on this one because we can. There it is. So, I don't care about summon duration. He's going to last forever for all I care, and he is going to be stronger. So, percent melee damage. Let's do that. Percent damage bonus. Effect name is going to be doesn't matter. Damage bonus. Let's say he gets an extra 10% of the graph at his level. So use on a level per stat. So this is going to be, should I just call it pot counter for him too? Yes, because every time a pot breaks near him, he gets more pot counters. Great! What synergy? This guy's excellent already. Wow. We'd probably want to put an upper limit on the pot counter, so just as a note. Probably. If you summon your Golem and you can get 999 pots broken near him, well, all the power to you, really. We'll probably put a limit like 50 at some point, so you can get like 500% damage, whatever. Saves? Do we save this pet? Yeah. Heck yeah. Save that pet. Keep him alive, man. He will pay dividends. What else do you want? Size bonus? We certainly want size bonus. Percent. Size. I don't know what size stat is. Scale? Percent scale, maybe? No. Does anyone know what it's called? I know we had it, and I'm pretty sure we just never really used it because it was, it was pretty, doesn't work that well. Scale. start scale, end scale, time to scale. I don't even know what these variables mean. Let's start at 1 and end scale at... I don't know if this is even going to work with the stat name. Because I don't know if it'll scale the right values up. Maybe 1.1. We'll put it in. We'll see if it works. Probably not. Saves. Save. Where's saves? There it is. Pot smash, yes. So yeah, save basically means if you reload him, if you save. So if there's a stat on your character that's not set to save, when you reload after quitting the game and coming back, it's there. It's not there if you don't set it to save. So yeah, let's do that. And then we can do other things, like if you have more than 5 pots, for instance, when you cast him, he could gain a skill. So we do something like add affix, skill, whatever, and then put a thing that says if you have 5 pots, then only if you have 5 pots, add this affix. We can work that out. We can work that out later. Now we need a unit to summon. So let's make one. Monsters. No. This is only on properties. There's a different... On the monster itself, there's a thing that says whether or not you save the monster between zones, which we'll actually see in just a second, I believe. Because we're going to look for... /bot. Oh, I spelled hammer wrong. Shame. No. What's going on? Oh, I need to select monsters, I guess. There we go. So let's just clone this good old guy. He's gonna be our clay golem. He is gonna be a monster. Just gonna be a monster. Just a good old monster. Don't worry about it. He's gonna be small. Let's make him small to start. Well, I guess it depends on what model we actually end up using. But let's just give him a let's just leave him. So there's a destroy on zone, I believe, flag over here somewhere, which dies on warp. So if you want it oops. So if you want it to not disappear when you zone, you just set that flag. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. So let's grab this layout for spawning the hammerbots, and we're going to make a copy of it. Clay golem summon. And the difference is we're going to change this unit spawner to spawn our guy, which we named Clay Golem. Not Claptrap. Clay Golem. Voila. Wunderbar. And I think that's it. For now. Let's do one more thing. Let's say if you don't have any pot charges, that you can't summon this guy at all. It just doesn't work. Because you have no pots. What are you going to make him out of? So we're going to look at our pot counter stat. We're looking at our own counter. You want to know if it's greater than a static value of 1. Oh, no, 0. Wonderful. Wonderful. So let's kill this. Don't care about Scratchpad, don't care about particle, don't care about UI. Can we print monster set information in tooltips, such as summon skeleton displaying the damage range in the toolbar? Yes, you can. So, yeah, he'll be friendly automatically just because you're summoning him as a pet, I believe. Something like that. There's some, I believe when you make them, when you set them as your pet, it converts them to be on your side. Can we print monster set? Yes. So, let me just show you where that is really quickly. Basically, there's just a dummy stat, and it uses the same graph as the damage, but all it does is print out the damage. It does nothing else, so that's here. Dummy Railman Hammerbot damage. So, if you look at that affix, dummy Railman Hammerbot damage. All it does is say, so this is just the damage that your bot is set to do, and all it is so you have damage minion by level as the graph we're using for that damage, and so all we're doing is saying use this to display the damage range. That's all. So I want to play this game. So let's see. So right click, nothing happens because we don't have enough pot master yet. We're not a master of the pot. So let's kill this. Bam. We are pot masters. I don't know why that had to explode. And we can summon it. Bam! What up? What up, level 1 pot guy? Yeah. Yeah. Attack! That's a weird damage shape coming from the side. I wonder if that actually hits things. Yeah, it certainly does. Interesting. Interesting. Ignore that, guys. Ignore that part. Alright, so let's bump him up. Where's Tutor? I need Tutor to say that for me. Yeah. Alright. That work? Oh, I forgot to put the pot counters on him. So that actually won't do anything. What I can try, though, is spawning the pots on him. That's not working. Oh, probably because I forgot to do something. So let's go back and to our affixes. And we want to say, oh, that's not the affix editor. We want to say that this Potmancer affix that we're adding to the pet first of all, we want this to be passive because we want it to just last forever. I don't know how the size thing works out. I've never used it before. What we want to do here is pick a source type, because what it's probably, I believe by default it's on caster. What we want it to be is on update self. So that means every update frame, every time it decides to update, it'll check what the current pot counter is and change its actual bonus accordingly. I want to do that for the scale one too, although I still don't know what the scale thing actually does. So probably what I want to do is actually do two of them, one on caster cast and one that actually counts as own. So let's duplicate this. So basically what we're going to do is say so what we're saying is I want 10% at the level on caster cast. Use owner level. So basically when I cast it, we're going to say the caster, how many pot counters does the caster have? Me. And we're only using that value on initially the first time that happens. Great. And this one is going to say, well, on update, how many pot counters do I have on myself? And add it as a separate bonus. So you get the best of both worlds. Wonderful. 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 Will be required to display minion count. Should each minion of a type radiate an invisible aura that stacks on the player? There's a more direct way since there's a maximum count for a different spell. I actually don't know if there's an exposed way to just see how many minions you have. You definitely could do it the way you're describing. If pots and barrels don't die, how do they know to spawn? They die, but they don't die in the same way, basically. They just say, hey, here's a spawn class in my file. Just do it. Do it. Take it and go. Take it and go. So, barrel, punch bag. So let's see if we can get this to give me a ton of barrels. Player effectiveness, I want it to go. Hit me up with them pots. Great. So, calm down, dog. Let's see what this guy does. So now he's doing way, like, triple damage, essentially. So the other test now, as you can see, he's doing quite a bit of damage. I don't know, I can't tell what the scale bonus is doing. It looks like he's 1.03 scaled. So let's add some barrels. Barrels everywhere. Let's see if his damage goes up. Yeah, you see his damage is rising. He's getting more powerful. Pretty soon, you will be nigh unstoppable. I should give him more hit points too or something. Wonderful. Wonderful. Everything is panning out as expected, as planned. Oops. Oh man, that's one beefy Potmancer. Pot Golem. Podum. Wonderful! Wonderful! Yeah, he's not growing larger. I don't know how to scale things. That's something I've never touched before, but I can mess around with it. Wonderful. But, hey, concept proven. We can get pots as a stat on the character. It's a little bit of a roundabout way, but a lot of the things you're going to do, they're not going to be quite clear how you want to do them, and thinking outside of the box can oftentimes get you results where the direct method doesn't just doesn't really pan out. On the other hand, those same constraints will lead you to solutions that make you change the design, but actually might work out for the best, gameplay wise. So, when you get lemons, make lemonade. thought that was all in caps. I guess we lowercase it. Let's do 2. I don't know how this works. Let's do this by 1,000. Save. I think this is this is like, it's something that grows and then shrinks, so it works. It's more complicated than I know how to think about without going through the code. Probably there's probably an example somewhere. I think there is something that grows and shrinks in the game. But anyways, is there a way to increase the pot counter without the bombs, or was that yeah? So ignore the fact that it's a bomb. I'll just go fix that now, whatever. So the reason it was a bomb was just because I was having problems making the effect actually hit the player correctly, but the bombs were hitting correctly, so I just used the bomb. I just used the bomb to do it, and then now I can just go back and change the visual. Basically I just forgot to switch the layout because I already made the new version. Let's just do that to be safe. Would it be easier and noticeable to add a unit theme on stacks instead of scale? You certainly could do that. The royal jelly. You can do it any number of ways. I'm sure there's a way to make the scale work. I just don't know offhand. That's just something I'd have to tinker with to find out. And it doesn't add a lot for me to figure out exactly how scale works on stream. That's not as interesting as the generic making stuff work. Just make sure the pot thing works fine. But those are static, so they're just set on the unit. So let's make a barrel, blow it up, bam. So there's no graphic now. It's just the pot just explodes and invisibly adds the pot stat to everybody around you. Wonderful, wonderful. And let's actually see what happens when I summon Golem. So he's regular size. He's not visibly changing, so I don't believe. So it's not an effect that really is kept track of. And he doesn't really look bigger there. He is getting a 1.9 scale though. I don't know about that. But there you go. There you go. Seeing as it's 2.5 hours in, why don't I open the floor up for some questions, and then from there, how should I do this? Rather than questions, why don't I just ask what skill you would like to see from the Potmancer next, and then I'll try to work on that over the next half hour before I call it night. Sound good? Lay it on me, guys. What do you want to see? Which skill? You want to see the skill where pots just magically get generated everywhere? Do you want to see I don't know. What are the other ideas I had for pots? There's a lot of pot-based passives that you can do based on how many pots you've accumulated. You can do I could add a pot counter that says your combo rate for killing pots in a row within a certain amount of time. So maybe if you do something like, oh, you killed 10 pots at once, you get a bonus pot. Can you make the clay golem skill learnable through a skull? Easy. Easy peasy. So what we have here are scrolls. So, basic example, armor expertise. All it is unit type spell. And you have a learn skill, and that's pretty much all it does. I believe there might be some... No, I think that's it. You just, instead of armor master, you do clay golem, whatever the name of your skill is. And I believe you're set. All of these work the same way. So spell, which spell you learn, easy peasy. Ask away thief. Can you make passive spot spawning? Passive pot spawning would be nice. Ability add the same unit types as pets. What does that mean? Rephrase that one. 0 phases. I want the Potmancer to have a skill that hires game designers at Runic Games. I see what you did there. I'm thinking of a skill that loops animation for the number of charges you have. Like a machine gun firing, spending... Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's pretty doable. It's definitely doable in that you can just fire it and it stops firing when you run out of charge. The question is, can you force it to stop when you run out of charges? I'm not sure if you can do that. I don't think... Yeah, but you can definitely, you can do the thing where it just runs out of ammo and you're just spinning an empty gun kind of thing. Yeah, there should be a machine gun pot thing or something. Should he have abilities based with breakables, like random spawn bombs, poison trap skeletons when he breaks his spawn pots? I like that. I do like that. Disguise the Potmancer as a pot. So, thief, the answer is yes, you can do that. I'm not sure. The model swapping stuff is doable. As long as you don't have to like have a specific animation set, you're just turning into a pot. What would you do as a disguised pot, though? What gameplay does that encourage? Is it a counter mechanism? You turn into a pot, and when you get hit, you explode into a giant trap version of a regular pot, and you don't take damage. Something like that. But invisibility... yeah, you could. It's like a sneak thing, like you walk by as a pot. I guess you could do that. Can you make your golem share your stats to a percentage, like golem stats, player stats? Yes, you can. What you would do is just have a bonus stat, a bonus strength, for each of them you just make one. So like bonus strength, blah 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 blah. So you put that on the. So let's say I was doing it on. This one's a nice example. So I'll just put this on real quick. I always miss it. Where is it? So it would be strength bonus, right? So effect is going to be bonus strength, strength bonus, strength bonus, and it's going to be 1. So this is okay. So 1-to-1 min max. Normally it's on a graph, but we're going to say no graph. So normally you see 1-to-1, and it says just give him 1 strength. That's what this effect currently does. Make it passive, because he always has it. And source type is going to be on update caster. Oh, I totally renamed those wrong. Should be on update receiver, or on update cell. Well, that means the same thing. Doesn't matter. So it's on update caster. So that means we're always going to be looking at the caster for the source of its stat, right? So now we're going to say, what is the stat name? Character something something strength. Stats. Character strength. Character strength. Stat percent is going to be, so if I want 10% of it, I'm just going to put 10 here, and that's it. And all it's going to do is say whoever was the owner. I guess we got to save it. That's it. We say add 1 strength, or add 10%. So take the character strength. You know what? Let's make it easier. Let's do 100%. Whatever. It's the same difference. Basically, you're saying 10% of the character's strength times 1 is how much strength he's going to get. So he's going to get 10% of his strength. Bam! Good night, man. Thanks for coming by. For Share the Wealth, the Outlander skill that shares percent, would that do anything with Berserker, Ember, Mage, Charge Distance? No, there's no interaction there. It just gives a percentage of your charge effects. Potmancer's pot form unless you micromanage multiple golems with TS. That's tricky. If possible. Even, probably not possible. Anyway, you could try to assign the clay golem to the skill UI. Sure, I'll do that in a second. Make a tree based on throwing the pots. For example, pots that explode, freeze, bind. Yes. Yes, I like that. Add golems of the same type as pets. I've been adding issues with multiple of the same, but not 2 of each. You have to make sure you set the max number of pets on that unit, because a lot of them are set to 1 because we only wanted you to have 1 of them. So for instance, we only want you to have 1. So you said max 1 sledge bot. So just increase that number to whatever you want, and that should work. A skill that makes that enemies want to attack pots instead of allies. Turn into a pot, revives health, and makes your clay golem go berserk. Can you gain control of a non-player unit? You can't. Not really. Not the way you're thinking of, probably. This class needs a random dungeon that's like Barrels of Fun from Doom 2. No, you are Barrels of Fun from Doom 2. You just make pots. Which one of these should I do? Let us do... I kind of like turning into a big pot. It's kind of funny. And shooting machine gun pots out, which we could do for, actually mix that with the whole throwing pot tree. Skills that make pots sometimes have pots. Yes. Yes. But not for now. We'll do that another time. Skill that makes a cloud where you get healed and enemy gets confused. Skill that makes pots you pass by in the environment follow you at speed slightly than your run speed. I don't know if I can do that because they don't count as units. Otherwise, that would be sweet. Put on pot armor. What you could do is make your summonable pots units instead of regular breakables. They can still have that skill where they die and they give you pot stuff. That might be harder for you to be able to kill them. I guess you make them enemies. It's fine. Pot Piper, yes. Yes, I like the way these ideas are flowing in. Floating pots that put pots on mob heads. I think basically he just needs to have all of his CC skills put pots on top of people's head, or have like smoke, or both. I guess both would work. So many things to try. Let's do... Oh, someone wanted to... Let me do that first, actually. Let me add the skill to a UI so people can see how that works. Easy, easy, easy. Open up. Media. Oh, let's see. Torchlight 2. Media. UI. That was an interesting sound. Menus. Skill tree overrides. And we were on Arbiter. Let's just use this. So let's save this as skill tree Potmancer. We don't want to save it here. Oh, great. Ha. So I'm going to save that. And so this is a skill clone. Blah, 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 blah. And is this the one that needs to change? No. Oh, so here it says Magma Spear. Widget name Magma Spear. No, this is just a naming thing. Is it? Do we use this? No, this is... No, that's the name. That's the actual skill name. So all you do is you replace the widget name with your skill. So this one is Play Golem. And then we'll name this for good practice. Save that. Let's go to our player file. Oops, Potmancer. Change this to... Oh, no, sorry. Skill tree Potmancer. Bam. Bam. And let's see if that worked. Gotta close all the other windows first. There you go. Summon a genie of the pot. Can you make Golem turn pots into homing missiles on hit? Turn pots into homing missiles on hit. Not sure what that said. Is it difficult to assign skill to overload? Oh, okay. There you go. That was it. Let's make sure it works. Bam, clay golem. Wonder bar. It's that freaking easy, man. It's that freaking easy. A lot of the editor is complicated. That's not one of the complicated parts. Golem hits pots if enemies in close range. Pots turn into. I don't think there's any attack pot AI, which is a problem. So, but what he can do is, if he has pot counters, we could give him a skill that lets him shoot pots or something like that. Can skills be learned? Good night, man. Thanks for coming by. Awesome. Can skills be learned or unlearned from sockets? Can they? Probably. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely have skills that activate on a thing with a socket on it, but that's not exactly what you're asking. You want to know if you can cast that skill as long as you have that weapon on. And I don't remember if there's functionality for unlearning the skill when you remove it. I know you can definitely make it. You can definitely learn a skill when you put something on. Wait, can you? I'm not sure offhand. I like the pot shield idea. The problem is I just can't really. I can summon pots. Well, I just can't do very much with the breakable pots because they don't count as units, so I can't pull them around or things like that. But what I can do is give you a spell that summons your pots that you've destroyed using the pot counter and uses that as a floating shield. And then they can count as pots when they get killed too, or something like that. Spells are a more special case, but you might. Yeah, maybe they work. Maybe it just works that way automatically if there's a learn skill on there. So that's something I kind of have to look at. I'm not sure. All right, so let's do a machine gun pot. How about that? No, fire pots. I've been working on editor stuff. How's it going? So let's pick a skill to work off of. Let's go with, what is that engineer skill called? Fusillade. Because Fusillade is a channeled shoot things skill, so this would make a good start. There was actually, I was trying to figure out stuff with Fusillade, so it's like, oh, maybe it uses charge when you fire rather than extra mana kind of thing. And it used to be like a cannon skill rather than rockets. So let's do this. Let's make this, give me a name. Pot. Rotary pot. Pot barrage. It's a machine gun pot skill. You just shoot out pots like a Gatling gun. Potcalypse. Done. Done. Now you know who didn't name all of the skills in the game. So we're just gonna remove some extraneous stuff. I don't care about skill tier stuff. Can attack fallback, sure, why not? Can left map, sure. No requirement on that. Mana cost, we don't have one because we're gonna be using pots. Oh, as a note, if we wanted to consume the pots for that clay golem, we would have just done that at the end of the event, on an event end in that skill, and you'd remove as many pots as you wanted. So what we're going to do here is say on trigger 3 we're firing something. Great, but we only want to fire if we've got more than one stat in pots. So pot counter self greater than value 0. What happens is, in this trigger, on myself, we're going to add stat pot counter -1. Done. Basically, that's it. We'll test this as is. Let's give. Is there anything else here? Let's make this 100% of weapon damage. For now, we can change that. And let's do. We just need to add this to our little dude, little guy. To our skill tree, just because we can. The skill trees are pottery, potency, and I forget what else. Potables? Potables for 600. Does immolation aura destroy pots? I believe it does. You can set it to target pots or not. We know who should have yes. He should probably have things that do things like you get different effects when you use pots rather than the base effects. How would you do that? You could probably modify the base potion and have a stat watcher that checks if, or not a stat watcher, just do if based on unit type, filtering out affixes based on unit type, I believe you can do. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. What you could do is you could put a point on your potion that says something like healing potion that lasts the duration of the potion, and then you have a passive skill on your guy that says, you know, you have bonus strength when you're drinking a healing potion or something like that. You could do that pretty easily. Alright, so let's check out Apocalypse. Is there any place to edit what happens when you die other than the resurrect files? I have no idea. Sorry, Mr. Blank. That's not something I actually know. Alright. So, firing pots, but we don't have any pots to fire, so we're just shooting blanks. Let's get us some pots. Got some pots. Bam, 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 bam. There's my pots. Oh no, I'm out of pots. Let me get some more pots. Voila, machine gun pots. And obviously you'd want to actually make it pots instead of rockets, but the concept is there. And you can always use more stat watchers, so in this skill. So let's say you have a bunch of different pots. So we take the pot, we make poison pots, fire pots, ice pots, whatever. Whenever you kill them, they blow up and they have different traps, right? So whenever you kill those special pots, you can put a stat on yourself that says fire pot instead of just in addition to the pot counter. And then what you can do is say random chance that if you have a poison pot counter, we shoot out a poison pot instead of a regular pot, stuff like that. So that'd be pretty cool. And what you could do is you could have passives that let you generate more of a specific kind of pot, or different pot summons, stuff like that. What am I loading? I don't even know. Oh, skills. This Apocalypse is pretty good. How about using inventory items as prereqs for a spellcast? Throw a heal pot would use a healing potion in your inventory to throw application. I don't... So you'd have to use effects, and I don't think we have an effect that removes items from your inventory. I believe triggerables... What's going on here? No good. Oh, there we go. I believe triggerables have a thing that says in inventory. So maybe... no. I don't think it did. Because there's nothing in here that lets you consume that potion. What you could do, though, is you could say, you could have the player you definitely have the potion cast a skill if you're a Potmancer with, you know, like a, let's say you have a skill that says every time you use a health potion, you generate fumes that dazes nearby enemies. You could do something like you put a stat on yourself that's basically I have this skill stat. Then on the potion, you put on the thing that says, when I use this potion, cast a skill that does the potion at the haze effect. Protection. Pretty like green snow. Yeah, that's kind of hideous. Could there be a passive that makes the map you're on generate more of a certain traps and breakables? Yes. What you would do That would be... no, I don't think so. That would be tough. What about the ability to launch helpful health potions at allies? That runs into the same problem of being able to remove items from your inventory with an effect. I don't believe there's a way to do that. What does Control M do, by the way? I don't know. What does Control M do? It's possible to make an item in the inventory count as an equipped item. You can... I think that the way... I think you'd have to work around that for the most part and just do a... What is it? Do a... just make... Just add equipment slots to the character and then just use that as your inventory on the bottom. Something like that. What's up, guy whose name I can't pronounce? How's it going? Yeah, so it's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to start doing the whole closing down thing. So bring on the questions. It is Q&A time. Can I make a skeleton wield a staff and actually attack with it? Yes, very easily. Basically, the question is whether or not it has an animation specific to that weapon, but everything has a basic attack, so it might look a little weird if it doesn't have a specific one. No, skeleton. So all you do is go to equipment and put it in his hand. So you can pick a staff, or you could have a spawn class that says that has a set of staves or whatever you want to do. So if you look at, I think it's skeleton warriors, they have a sword and a shield. And if you look at the monster, so let's grab the skeleton, for instance. Media, models, monsters, skeletons. I don't know which one it is. Excuse me. And we look at the animation editor. Then you see that this guy has he has bow animations, slashing, blah blah blah. He's got dual wield animations. So he doesn't have any special. He's got a shield animation, but he doesn't have any special staff animations. So he'll probably just default to his regular attack animations for that. So if you imagine him holding a staff and doing this swiping action, it probably won't look that great. So you need to add, you need to work around that. See the editor. Wow. Sorry guys. Basically, I just opened up a generic model and put the skeleton in. And so you can see here he's got a bow attack, and he doesn't have any specific staff or two-handed attack. So it depends by model, basically. Am I planning to do any more of these sessions? I have no concrete plans. This was just something I wanted to do, especially since I hate writing more stuff. I'd rather just do a video. When I tried to do it by copying a logger, it will go to the player, but it will just stand there. What's a logger? Are you going to the EVO World Championships this year? I have not planned to. I'm not too into fighting games. I like them a lot, but I haven't gone to any tournaments before. Do you know how to make blood last longer? You would just edit the blood particles and make them last longer there. Am I their ultimate weapon? I don't know. I don't really ask other people about if they're too shy or what, but I don't know. You just Twitter them, whatever. Tell them you want to see them on stream. A skeleton logger, a variation of the skeleton. Let's take a look at them. Skell logger. He's probably just a variation on the regular skeleton model. Here he is. So his model, yeah, he's just a base skeleton. So if he just stands there, then maybe these skeletons don't have support for a two-handed weapon at all. I don't know at that point. Let's see. There are skeletons with a two-handed weapon, so let's take a look at one of those, like Ossitar, for instance. Skeleton armored. He's actually got a staff animation. I actually could not answer your question. Which it might have to do with just needing that animation in there for it to be able to use something like that. Smash Brothers is pretty fun. Is there a less tedious way to do it? Nope, not really. At least you only have to edit a couple files. Well, yeah. The tedious part is trying to find them all. I think Berserker would make a hilarious fighting game character. That is a very balanced PvP. 500%. It's pretty balanced. How about humanoid point pets wielding weapons? I've seen a couple that add humanoids, but they're always bare fist. I think you would, I mean, because the human models have all the animations for all the weapons, that shouldn't be a problem. You just need to make sure they're equipped. I'm just typing messages, man. Don't worry about it. How do I change the skill and skill sets of classes? Essentially, the base files for the players have all the skills, and the UI layouts associated with them, you just have to modify those. Actually, when this video goes back up, I do a little bit of that in there, so you can just check that out for a visual guide of how to do it. Where's the... but I'll just open that page up really quickly. So let's get on the dirty questions. What's the next game? So for instance here, just go to skills, and this is their skill set. So you can change the skills, do whatever, and then this is where the visual representation of what skills they have is. Did I miss him answering my question? I'll go up. If you wanted to add in your own created models and animation, do you have to use 3ds Max? I actually don't know. I believe that most things can convert to 3ds Max, so worst case, you're doing a double conversion. But that's out of my league, unfortunately. Can I add you on Steam, or at least photobomb your stream with a friend request? You can photobomb my stream with a friend request. I've been trying to keep my Steam personal. For now, at least. I don't know. We could create skill sets per gender, can we? You can. You can. Assuming we added all the same animations to a skeleton the player would have, can we model swap them at character creation? Huh. I don't think that that's even a requirement. Theoretically, you could just throw in whatever you model you wanted. That's something that I have no experience with, so I'm just kind of talking out of my butt. Sorry, I don't know the answer. I think you just need an Ogre exporter to export to Torchlight. I don't know your account name. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate. Maybe I was thinking about making a Runic Steam account just so that I can, you know, do that kind of stuff. So that's something I'll think about in the future. What is the race field for? The race field. Oh, like human, etc. I don't even know. I've never ever used it. So, what's my favorite drink? Right now, jasmine milk tea. Well, a green milk tea that's heavy in jasmine from Taiwan has been really doing it for me. It's so good. It's so good. I had a really good Indian chai recently. That normally chai has too much going on, and I don't like it that much. But this one was like is more like a regular milk tea with chai, something special chai going on that made it really good. What's being worked on at Runic nowadays? Guts fixes. Do I watch fighting streams from time to time? Yeah, not very often at all, but here and there. It's like I'll turn on Twitch to watch like some StarCraft or just see, or Dota or whatever's going on, and I'll see a fighting game. I'm like, oh, I'll watch this for a little bit. In global.dat it says integer retirement age 20. What does that mean? That's a answer. That's a question only you have the answer for, my friend. Here's a big question. Why is there a 10 mod limit? It has to do with things like sending data and being you get a lot of conflicts and there's no good way to resolve them on, and then there's a whole, you have to have them in the right order. So once you get past 10 is already a lot of permutations of orders. There's a lot of problems with having tons of mods, and as long as you can merge them together. I actually don't have the official answer to that, so I could be off base. In regards to guts fixes, can you load up Town 1 in the room pieces palette? I don't know. Can I add the step swimming as animations to a jasmine milk tea and guts? You can try. I don't know how successful you'll be. Do you at least know the Evo moment Diego Umher versus Oh yeah, of course. I've seen that many times. Also the one where, was it Justin Wong playing Cyclops? In MVC2. That was pretty epic. That's the age everyone at Runic wanted to retire. Man, I wasn't even working at 20. Couldn't retire then. We got game. We got game. You are there. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. All right, three more minutes of questions. Get them out of your system, guys. Honestly, though, if you want other people to do this kind of stuff, just bug them, because this is just my home setup, so I can do it. It's not really anything special. Have you and the rest of the TL2 team feel how good our access is? Thank you for this in TL2. Thank you. I appreciate that. We do feel like this has been very successful, and we're very grateful to all the fans. So, all you guys, you're awesome. Is there a way to bypass the 10 mod limit without merging mods? Nope. That's why there's a 10 mod limit. I didn't watch that game. Is Runic hiring? I know some people who want to work there. Runic is not hiring, but you're more than welcome to send your resumes because I don't deal with them, so I don't even know what goes on. Yeah, send your stuff, but we're not really hiring right now. I'm awesome. You're awesome. Have they said anything about Mac release? We have not said anything about Mac release. If there is a Mac release announcement, I will not be the one bringing it to you anyways. Let me take a moment here to espouse my love of Monster Hunter. You should all buy it. It's awesome. Thank you guys. You have made a really good game. Thank you. What was your experience working with Ogre 3D? I would say that I personally was not doing too much in the Ogre 3D engine itself. There are some... I had to deal with some resolution type. It was really finicky with monitors and resolution switching and full screen windowed and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of like, but the rest of it is pretty good. I love the idea of getting really deep in and optimizing, but that's not something I want to deal with when I actually want to make a game per se. Is there a tutorial on merging mods? I believe there's not one per se. The whole thing about merging mods is just that you need to resolve conflicts, right? And the other part's easy. You just unpack both of them, stick them in the same directories, and as long as there's no conflicts, right? You just gotta figure out which files you want to supersede the other and make those the ones that are the right ones, or merge them together. So I don't think there's a tutorial per se. I would assume anything that you need to combine is a specific case. Like if there's two animation sets, you've got to figure out how to merge them correctly, which is a lot different than if two skills overlap. Usually you just pick the skill you want to keep. Max mentioned that he would like to be able to add some sort of Minecraft freedom in the next game, like build all you want, build all when you will, and apply to meaningful gameplay. I love to see a Minecraft versus ARPG. Cool. I don't know if that's what we're doing. Nor could I tell you, even if I did. That's probably just one of those what I would like to see statements. I would like to see Monster Hunter or Monster Hunter games. Would you be interested in becoming a professional Super Smash Bros. Melee player? Oh man. It's probably not higher on my list than becoming a professional other games. So, but it would be pretty cool. Yeah, Lore of Serpents, thank you. That guy has your answer. MH3, how would you explain it for someone that has never played it but has played PSO on Dreamcast? I didn't play PSO, so I couldn't tell you exactly. But it's the over-the-shoulder perspective, 4-player parties. Essentially, it's a game about hunting giant monsters, carving them for parts, and making them into armor. and then getting better at doing that, and then killing bigger monsters, and then killing bigger monsters, and then killing bigger monsters. Smash Bros is competitive. Smash Bros Melee got pretty competitive. There's a lot of people who argue the technicalities of like how competitive it is compared to other fighting games, but if you are good at Smash Melee, you will kick the crap out of everyone else who says they're, oh, I'm good at Smash Melee. No, you're not good. They're good. What is your favorite game at least 10 years of age? 2003? Favorite game? Oh, Diablo 2? Diablo 2? Diablo 2. The thing is, like, I could never play Smash Bros. As a party game after I got good at it because everybody else would just die. There's a significant gap between someone who's playing it as a party game and someone who knows what they're doing. I mean, like, if you've ever played Street Fighter with someone who doesn't know what they're doing and you know what you're doing, it's the same. It's practically the same deal. If they gang up on you, you kill them faster because they hit each other and stuff. Brawl was better in that in terms of being a party game, and that's why no one competitively, well, that's why Brawl wasn't as, I don't want to say untrue things because I haven't followed that scene, but I don't think Brawl is as competitive, doesn't have the same competition style as Melee. Was Melee actually at EVO in the past? I didn't know that. Huh. We have run out of good questions. I don't know if that's true. We've run out of relevant questions. I noticed the net hack that in the editor. Was that intended for anything? I don't know the answer to that. Region is getting this time of year's Evo because of the donation drive. Yeah, I heard about that. Smash is cool. See you later, man. I don't know how to pronounce your name still, but thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by. Alright, since time has run past, it's time to close down. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. You guys are cool. Make some cool mods, and we'll hang out sometime on stream. Cool. See you later, guys. Peace out. You're a cool dude, Vorpal Storm.